The Alfie Whattam podcast.
Microsoft have been under a bit of hot weather about this because Bing ChatGPT, the integration, has started to send kind of alarming messages sometimes. Sometimes it's been like crazy woke on the left. If you ask it a question like, tell me about Joe Biden, it will give like a glowing review. He's the greatest president of all time. He's incredible. He's a leader. And then if you ask it, tell me about Trump, it will say he's horrible and he's a terrible person. This isn't a political podcast or statement. I think they're both pretty average. But if it's giving one-sided, biased information about one political party, perhaps that's interesting, and it's also given false information quite a lot. It's amazing. It's one of the most ground-breaking pieces of tech we've ever seen in our lives. But at the same time, it can sometimes mess up simple math problems. You can ask it a question like the bad example, and it will give you completely the wrong answer. So it's by all means not perfect. On the screen at the moment, we're showing a story by The Independent where Microsoft had responded to this, stating that essentially they kind of need to do some human fiddling around with this, and sometimes not just relying on AI to give the answer, but actually having humans go in there and correct information sometimes, and that sort of thing. What are your views on people kind of trusting this implicitly? Is that a danger? Should they be doing their own checking as well? What do you think, Oscar?
I think you don't trust anybody implicitly.
No.
You don't trust humans implicitly. If you meet somebody on the street and you've never spoken to them before, you don't trust them implicitly. You build trust over time, and you trust based on reputation. And so I think the same thing's going to happen with these AI models. You will only trust the ones that consistently give you the information that you think is correct. And also, it's impossible to objectively judge the truth on many of these things, especially in politics.
Yeah.
Like you can't have a human go in and say, hey, AI model, this is the correct answer on, a poem about Joe Biden or Trump. So I think it's the wrong thing to do to strive for ultimate truth coming out of these AI models, because frankly, I think it's impossible.
Yeah.
And
Should AI be trusted? What do you think, Tris?
Very interesting question. It keeps me up at night. But I think it's interesting. Do you trust your computer at the moment? Something I'd ask.
Yeah, like with most things, it depends on what I'm using it for, right? If I wanted to find a podcast on Fountain, then it's pretty simple. You press a button and there it would come. If I wanted to, use one of your, lottery apps or something, I'd assume that, I'm buying a ticket and I'm getting something that can win me a lot of money, right? I mean, you do trust it. This is so different, though, isn't it? Because it's AI.
It's all about risk, though, isn't it? I guess if you're asking those questions, it's not a consequence really to you. You go, either use your app or I don't, but if it's, this is controlling a train or something, I think there's a lot more risk there.
Well, it will eventually control trains, self-driving cars. We're going to see within the decade we'll have no. I can't see this confidently, but self-driving cars could replace all Uber drivers, all truck driving, all everything like that could be automated in theory. It's already being tested on the roads. You've got robo-taxis and everything. So are we going to have to start trusting AI with more and more and more things, which we perhaps feel nervous about at the moment?
Can you convict an AI system of manslaughter, I guess, if something goes wrong?
No, that's the problem. No.
We say we're only human. We make a mistake, but
we're
only ChatGPT make a mistake.
Do you convict Sam Altman and Greg and the pioneers that created it if it goes wrong? I mean, probably not. I mean, if somebody posts something terrible on Twitter, do you then go after Jack Dorsey or Elon Musk? I mean, not really. It's such a new debate, isn't it? It's not something that we have pre-prepared answers for because it's a new thing. What's your opinion, Oscar, on perhaps where this could be heading with the trust side?
Yeah, I think I agree that depending on what question you want to ask, you will have a different appetite for risk, and then you'll ask a different person or system. Again, you wouldn't ask somebody that you don't know or has no reputation,
Yeah.
a really important, serious question that's going to affect your life. Whereas you might ask them to tell you a joke or to recommend a film that they've watched in the last week, because it doesn't really affect it. So I think we're all just going to have to get a lot better about thinking, where do we ask the question? Do we ask ChatGPT? Do we ask a friend or family member? And I think that's a good skill to have anyway, if you even take AI out of the picture. So hopefully that's a good incentive for people to do that more.
It is like a really dystopian future if you're like asking everything to like your phone, right? And you're not asking your friends anything.
Yeah,
that would be,
exactly.
What's really scared me, though, is, have you seen those YouTube ads for AI solutions but digital avatars?
Oh, Symphasia.
Yeah,
I know Victor and Stefan, the creators, very, very smart people. They've created what could be, I mean, from a deep fake perspective, it could have massive implications on the world. But yeah, I've seen them on YouTube ads as well. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
But if you think about that and you're working from home, you're not always meeting people in person. Like, you actually meet a real person. Yeah. That's the next evolution, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, but using a fake version of you on a Zoom call to handle meetings, perhaps.
Hey, thanks for watching this YouTube video. If you want to see more like this, please remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.